Welcome, everybody, to the big call tonight. It's Tuesday, May the 3rd, and you're listening to the big call. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in once again all over the globe, whether you're catching this call live or whether you're catching it on the replay or the replay link or replay number or on so-called Memorex, as I tend to call it. So thanks for tuning in globally, all over the place, and we welcome you. So let's pray the call in, and then we'll look forward to hearing a beautiful teaching from Sue. Okay? So let's pray the call in. Lord God, thank you for blessing your people. Thank you that we've been called according to your purposes. Thank you that we recognize that we are called and that we are responding with open arms to this blessing. Thank you for bringing it to us and allowing us to do whatever it is we are called to do with the funds. In Jesus' name, amen and amen. Now, it's that special time, ladies and gentlemen, that we have a changeling happening. We're looking forward to Sue's teaching, which has been just phenomenal over the years. And we really love the discussion time that we have to try to further deepen on the teaching that Sue brings. And that's what we do every Tuesday and Thursday night. So enjoy it, kick back, get comfortable, and listen to the teaching that Sue has curated for us.
And this is really one of my favorite. So really do enjoy, because this is really dedicated to the sovereign leaders that you are. And the work the creations, let's not call it work. Hold on a second, I lost. The creations that we will be developing for our world and beyond. How to create environments that bring out the best in people. Check out this subtitle. Breaking the boxes of logic. Have you ever felt like the odd one out? Like you didn't belong? Maybe because you didn't look or act like the rest. Or you were counted out, asked to leave when you began to speak up. The world has many segregated societies, confined churches, and aristocratic associations that isolate and deplete their communities and environments from diverse forms of thought out of fear of becoming powerless. But I'd propose this. I'd propose that this isn't God's intent when he dreams of every tribe, tongue, and nation living in the fullness of who he has called them to be. So how do we as leaders create environments that are not afraid to confront the challenges of community without segregating those that think differently? That truly brings out the best in people and launches them into their God-given destiny. The truth is, leadership development is costly. It moves beyond just handing over the keys of empowerment and looks more like sitting in the passenger seat teaching someone how to drive as they jolt back and forth, learning the power of the pedal. Yet this is the very place that cultivates transformation, not just impersonation, where people step into their God-given identity, not just mimic their leaders' abilities. The truth is, no one wants a copy. They want the original. And the kingdom of God eagerly awaits for you to step in to the fullness of your destiny. I recently sat down with a conversation of a friend of mine. He's one of the most gifted pastors in our community that truly believes in people and has helped develop many of the leaders in our environment today. And he made a powerful statement while we were talking. Quote, "Family doesn't look identical, and we do a disservice if we tell people they have to look or be a certain way." I could not agree more. 2 Corinthians 5:16 says, Therefore, from now on, we recognize no one according to the flesh. Even though we have known Christ according to the flesh, yet now we know him in this way no longer. In order to create an environment that brings out the best in people, we must see the gold in people, which comes from seeing each other by the Spirit, not by the flesh. Creating environments that bring out the best in people is the key to raising up leaders as a leader. It's not skill or ability that will help you in the effort of raising strong leaders. Raising up giants in the kingdom takes faith, because so often our floor is the next person's ceiling. They will go places we haven't gone. They will do things we haven't done. And they will be gifted in areas we are not. But true success in leadership doesn't lie in the hands of being good at everything. It lies in your ability to believe in people, to see the gold in them, even where our human eye does not see it. What I'm getting at is humility has to run deep through the veins of every leader as we ask the Holy Spirit to guide us in raising up individuals that have different gifts, abilities, and destinies than we do. This is required of us in order to see people live in the fullness of their destiny and Jesus get his full reward. How has someone believing in you changed the trajectory of your life? And that is our teaching for the emerging sovereign leaders, everyone that's listening to this call for tonight.
Thank you, Sue. I thought that was special, really. A terrific teaching that takes us kind of in a new direction we haven't really gone in before. What I really liked about it was that it opened us up to seeing the diversity in each other, seeing the likenesses and the diversity in our group of the Big Call, which is reaching quite an audience around the globe. A lot of us, we don't look the same. We're not the same size. We don't act the same. We don't speak the same way. We all have differences that really, I think you outlined the concept really well. But what I think is God uses everyone in the body of Christ to be a part of the body. And of course, we all know that, the idea that one person is an arm, one person is an elbow, one person is a finger or a toe, all of that concept, the concept of the complete body. But it's really, what I really enjoy is the fact that we come together for a common purpose. And look, even what we're going to be doing as individuals, even though we're part of a large group, it's our individual plan to take our blessing and bless it to other people around the globe, whether it's at home, our own community, whether it's still within this country, for example, or whether it's wherever it is. It's to bless a diversity of people. And I think that's really, when we think about every tongue, every kindred, every tribe, it's referring to just the vast differences of the people of the earth. And I just think it's wonderful for us to think in those terms and realize that we're all going to be working toward several common goals. And I think that if we look at it that way, we can say, hey, this is really good. We're all working toward one end, one le but, one goal, to get this done or that done for this people group or that people group or this, country or that country. This is really what's important. And it's not like any one group stands out over another. It's just that we're all coming together like a team, really. I look at it very much as a team, a team effort. Bob's played on teams, Sue's played on teams, I've played on teams, and each person, if they're an individual, they may play the game slightly differently, but the goals were the same. And I think that's how we look at Rebuild America. That's how we look at the Veterans Retreat Network, Pastoral Retreat Network, any other projects that we do, like Rebuild the Bahamas and Rebuild Hispaniola, which is, Haiti and the Dominican Republic. So I think that for 5 projects is a good start, but there'll be other projects that we'll come into and find out about. So I love the fact that we're diverse. I love the fact that we each of us has gifts. Each of us has gifts. Maybe you found your gifts, maybe you haven't, maybe you're still searching, but each of us has been gifted by God to go forward because we're all seen as the chosen of God. God chose us to do this, to be here at this time, to take this blessing and run with it. And I just think it's a wonderful example, Sue. Thank you for the teaching. I thought it was excellent and gets us thinking and gets us to open up a little bit and see a bigger, broader picture. So thank you for that. Bob, I'm always interested, as is Sue, on what your viewpoint was on this teaching and what did you get from it and how do you apply it?
Yeah, so thanks, Bruce. And Sue, thank you. Bruce, the last part that you were saying about how each of us has gifts is really like a statement that each of us can embrace. But as Sue was saying, sometimes people get caught in these boxes, right? We get caught in the boxes of logic, in the boxes of our own beliefs, which might hold us back from becoming our best self, right? We've created a prison of our own creation because we've turned over our sovereignty to others, to an institution or another person, right? And so we can examine what it is that's causing us to turn over our sovereignty and what it is that's making us create these avoidance strategies that keep us from our full expression. And by examining what we're avoiding, by examining our challenges, examining our feelings mostly about each aspect of our life, our sovereignty, our potential, the examining of those feelings will lead us to what we need to examine, right? And what we need to stop avoiding in order to break free. And you can ask yourself, why do I have these avoidance strategies? What am I hiding from? I'm hiding from my perception of lack of love because I believe others people's love is what makes me lovable as opposed to God created me. I'm avoiding because I'm hiding because I have a low self-esteem. I'm not sure that I'm valuable, that I'm worthy, right? And other people may not have given me those affirmations as I was growing up. And I don't yet have the sense of worthiness given to me by God. And so what do I do to avoid? I use food, right? And therefore, it's very easy to begin to examine these things if you just examine your relationship with food? Or what about alcohol? What about television? And if we can very honestly and openly engage in dialogue with ourselves that says, why am I doing this avoidance strategy? What's the real reason behind it? And then you want to face it, right? It's okay to face it, because facing these issues in yourself is the key to your transcendence. These are your life themes that you were gifted in order to participate in a transcendence. Everyone has to have something to transcend, to sharpen their saw, to get good at this, right? And while you face it and feel it, you'll begin to understand it. And through the understanding, perhaps you'll transcend it. And if you can accomplish this, you find your sovereignty, find your freedom, transcend your avoidance, then you'll be able to actually bring all of you willingly, with no fear, right? And this newly self-actualized you'll be able to bring it to all the other dimensional aspects of you, of yourself, that are longing for you to break free, and to bring this aspect, this third dimensional aspect, free from avoidance, free from trauma, and bring it to the party, so that all of you, all aspects of you, can become one with God, so you might express your absolute fullness, unabated, untainted, unshackled, right? This fullness, you can bring this fullness of your godness right to the universe, and so you can share it. The whole purpose is then share it with all of the others who are around you, and therefore may be inspired by your vibration.
That's good, Bob. That's nice.
Powerful, Bob. Powerful.
Yep, I like the transcendence aspect of it. And Sue, in the teaching, you said one person's ceiling is another person's floor. And we know that. We know that from different aspects of our life, different levels of information that we get, and different levels of a lot of different things. So how do you relate to this teaching, and how do you see it from your perspective?
Well, as always, it's wonderful to take these beautiful gifts that both of you brought and, try to create a bow and tie it all together. The reason why, I'll go into what I heard you say, Bruce, is this teaching called to me because of the intimacy that I've been able to have with, let's just say, a lot in the community, through World Class, through designing their best future, being able to be one-on-one or one-on-four with people, so I could see where they were in their understanding of themselves, and then their ability to be in a very diverse group in the future. And what you brought was just an understanding that, and I was really getting your perspective on working in larger projects and with maybe different groups in larger projects, number one, and that, you're going to have to see other worldviews that are different than yours, and you're going to be managing when people may not want to go in a direction that you, or a group doesn't want to go in a direction that you want to go, and having the skills to either hire people or be in that situation where you have different worldviews. And what Bob brought out that was so powerful was being a leader, and especially as you start to work in your families and then with the people that are going to be part of your wealth management team, and then the people that are going to be part of your humanitarian project team, the gift you can bring is that gift that Bob was talking about, which is to understand and have awareness of yourself and your reactions, and how if you go to a meeting, and I've been involved in a lot of group work for 29 years. And so I've worked in, groups of anywhere from 3 people to 40 people. And I'm always fascinated to see how people show up when there are these different groups and different interests. And what Bob was bringing was the more you're aware and the more you get into kind of a neutral, open, aware state. So you're sitting in a meeting and somebody's saying, well, I think we should do it that way. Or you've got all these different viewpoints. Some people might feel uncomfortable managing that kind of reaction, and that's where they may leave the meeting and go and eat something or turn on the television or do something, because they have to say, how can I respond to this with an open heart and an open mind and see the unity in what we're talking about. And that's really what we do. We do a lot of, or some, I wouldn't say a lot, we do some of this development in the Designing Your Best Future, so you can go into meetings, you can go in to meet with people, and you have an understanding and a centeredness in your own unique abilities and strengths that gives you the freedom to meet others in their unique abilities and strengths. And you're not coming from I don't like financial people, or I don't feel as good as this person, or whatever, as Bob was talking about, those things that say, no, I don't know exactly what I'm doing, therefore I'm going to be in a defensive, I'm going to choose a defensive as another version of avoidance, a defensive posture. And so I love this teaching, and I love what both of you bring, because it helps people listening to this could begin to practice opening to the different ways that God will be looking at you and shining what is the best that that person is providing to you. And to see it with wonder and openness so that you can collaborate on solutions together. And I loved it as a setup because people will be, having to understand different viewpoints and enjoying the collaboration of those viewpoints. That's why I picked it.
Thank you. That's good. I think that's good. That's a nice summary on that, Sue. I like how you made that practical for us. And moving forward, it took
a little practice.
The idea
always a better practice. But Bob usually provides the practice. I just pitched in.
He usually does.
I know.
He usually does. You picked it up this time, Sue.
Yeah.
And but it was, both of you gave good viewpoints on taking this teaching and expanding it and making it something practical and something that we can go with and utilize, really, moving forward as we come into our group settings or into our own leadership situations. It's going to be good. This is a good one. I think so, Sue, very much so. Thank you for bringing that, Sue, and for Bob, your viewpoint on it, really strong. And it's that time again, Sue. It's time to see whether or not we have any additionally new praise reports that we need to manifest.
We have an extraordinarily beautiful one.
Ooh.
For some reason, I have this gig playing in my head. I'm just going to go with it. Okay, Bob, come on down, and I want you to sit in this special. So come on down onto the stage, Bob, and I want you to sit in this special acknowledgement chair that is dedicated to you. Okay, so let's shine it all on our beautiful Bob. Here we go.
Bob's under the spotlight. Okay.
Yep, Bob is coming in. He's walking up the stage. I don't think he has his baseball hat on backwards. He's very distinguished here, and he's just gracefully sitting down to receive the acknowledgement that he is so worthy of. Hold on one sec. Tonight's praise goes straight to heaven on behalf of Bob and his Boomers Forever Young staff. Not only are you the smartest, most knowledgeable man I know, but Boomers products are amazing. Big Call Universe, you must use a variety of their products. It will change you from the inside out. I'm 63, and nearly everyone, when they try to figure out my age, they say late 40s. But Bruce, not so fast. My CRP test just came back 0.03. I won't do without my Goodnight formula, and my goal is to completely get rid of my insulin and blood pressure meds. Just watch. My D is halfway to where it has been, and my A1C has dropped from double digits to 6.9. Now you see why everyone needs to get on the life-saving supplements. I could go on and on. Be blessed, Pastor Scott.
That's
Isn't that
great
beautiful,
news.
Bob? I'll send that to you right now.
Thank you, Pastor Scott. That's really nice.
I think it's
Isn't that
really
beautiful?
true. Yeah. That's good, Pastor Scott. I did have the opportunity to call Pastor Scott yesterday. Yeah. And I think it's, that's really good numbers. I've got you beat on the CRP. Mine was a negative number, which they showed as 0. So, but you are at 0.03. That's tremendous. And we both give the Gladiator Barley the credit for knocking that down so low. That's wonderful. Your numbers are coming in great. And your goal is the same as mine and many, many others to get completely off of any medications, totally, and just totally work with nutritionals and food, and that's it. And get our nutrition from food and these supplements that Boomers has, and that's exactly what we're doing. So that's a good one, Sue. Thank you, Pastor Scott.
I know, it's beautiful.
And Bob should be in the spotlight because, he's a very modest guy, and he doesn't toot his own horn, and we toot it for you, Bob, because we recognize Pastor Scott's right. You are the smartest guy, and you are the sharpest tool in the drawer, and it's true. And so we recognize what you bring to this call through your knowledge and the Boomers products, and we appreciate it. We really do, because it's life-changing for thousands of people, and maybe many, many thousands as they get in touch with Boomers and give your products a try. Absolutely.
Thank you, Bruce.
You're welcome. I think that was really significant. As we move, was that the only praise report for tonight, Sue?
That was the only praise report for tonight.
Okay. All righty. Well, that was a wonderful one. Thank you very much. And as we segue over to you, Sue, we ask to see, we know that we've had a lot of people that had interest and showed interest from Tuesday night's call. And why don't you tell us about that from your email perspective, and really what it is you've been doing in the last 48 hours.
Well, I think this will be a really wonderful segment for taking you into a space where you let go of some of those avoidance or defensive tactics like we were talking about earlier. So you're going to want to tune into this to prepare yourself for going into the redemption and for down the road. And we're going to talk about how, as a leader, you're going to know exactly what and how to work with other people based on getting prepared now. There's a great quote that says, when you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. And so you've got to lay the groundwork now. You've got to lay the groundwork while it's not too busy, and you can really teach your spirit and your brain and your body in a calm environment just basically how you want to step out as a leader. So we're going to do that. But I just want to give a mention of something that happened tonight in the early evening. All of a sudden, our hush mail just shut down, and God bless them. I called them up, and they said, well, my goodness. I said, what is it? And they said, we've actually never seen this much email usage happen in such a short amount of time. So it's for people that have been, waiting for us to get back, you just can't imagine the volume of email that we've been hit with over primarily, it's been pretty continuous, but over the past week or so. So just be patient while we get back to you on the world class, because we are trying to get everybody to have the best presentation they can have. But when Hushmail tells you they've never seen so much email so fast, that's telling you something of what we're dealing with. So have a laugh at that. And I want to start with what's amazing about our community, Bruce and Bob, is the heart to bring the best, which is going to be the essence of what you're going to have to do as a leader to find the best people, give the best love and care, hire the best designers, scientists, researchers. And so when people sign up for the world-class presentation or designing your best future, these are people that are reaching out of their behavior and their action to say, I want to go into the Redemption Center with the very best. So I'm going to read you a couple of testimonials and see if you resonate with this in terms of your desire to put together a wonderful presentation that is easy for the people at the Redemption Center to digest. And this is from a husband and wife who are they are phenomenal in their entrepreneurship. They run several different businesses, and yet they're incredibly loving, kind, and down to earth. Our experience with the world-class presentation was fantastic. My husband and I both have projects, and thankfully we're able to both receive the priceless coaching and training Sue had to offer. Her program was targeted and customized to our project specifically. And now they're kind of talking about designing the best future. The lessons were bountiful, They were filled with direction, guidance, research tools, and most importantly, leadership tools. When the program was completed, we were able to present our concept to completion in a way that integrated our ideas with real-world solutions to create a winning combination of success and application. All the invaluable information we know now makes us feel 100% confident in the delivery of our presentation on the day of redemption. My husband and I enjoyed her coaching so much that we paid for an additional week, and it took 2 Designing Your Best Futures week of training. Sue not only helped us with our project presentation, but in our second course, she integrated life coaching into our program. This is where our consciousness was elevated to a new plane. Her coaching provided insurmountable value to our future life. Transitioning from the old world to the new world will be a fluid, smooth immersion in how, as we now have a better understanding how we and our project will impact all humanity. She has an innate ability to truly understand her students, and she cohesively connects them with them as one, transmitting positive energy into every meeting. Her communication and transmission of knowledge was enlightening and fulfilling in so many ways. There is no amount of money to quantitatively measure the value of this program. And what it is, it's not about me or whatever. It's being with a mentor that can help you. It's called scaffolding in teaching. It's somebody that can help you transition into a much bigger but grounded point of view and skills and insights and leadership abilities. And I just wanted to say to the people that are either looking to design their world class, or to the people that are saying, how am I going to go through this? What am I going to do? You can come, and I'm inviting you to, write to us, and I'll give you the address in a minute. The goal is to get support so you can have a defined, clear presentation, and that's what we do in the world-class presentation. And you can do that by, let's say you have, as this other, I feel like that testimonial is going to suffice. I'm going to just give an anecdotal expression of another woman who also wrote a testimonial, but I don't want to take up too much time tonight. And she said that when she got her Zim, and then she's like feeling like she got it like back in March, and there was so much information, she just didn't know what to do. And as soon as she got her world-class presentation done, she had peace. So if you're a person that's sitting there going, oh, I'm hearing I should be doing a project, and I just don't know what to say or how much to say or what that should look like, and you don't know how to create big project ideas in a couple or one paragraph, that's what the world-class presentation is designed to give you, so that you can go in, have a very powerful presentation. The people at the Redemption Center are not going to be overloaded with you trying to prove you know how to write a 15-page executive brief. That's not what they're looking for in this setting. It's 1 to maybe 3 pages. 1 to 3 pages. They need to get your concept. They don't want to think through a lot of information. You need to be cogent or concise. Most people don't know how to do that. They need to see, what does that look like on global projects? How does that sound? How do I copy that? How do I imitate that? If you want that, you can write to us at Integrated Minds, INTEGRATED Minds, at hushmail.com and put Design Template 165. Design Template 165. And we'll be getting back to you as quickly as we can. You heard about our email thing, and we'll be sending that to you within 1 to maybe 4 hours. So that's how you do the world-class template. When you're going into the Redemption Center, here's the piece. This is the piece that we're going to use as your leadership lesson for designing your best future. Most people that I talk to, and I'm very attuned to this, are kind of looking at the redemption people. Are they going to grant me the right to do my projects? Are they going to say yes to my projects? That's all coming from old conditioning. That's going to a bank to get a loan. That's going to a boss that you're not quite sure is going to okay your raise. What you need to do with that is just, if you're sitting on a call and you have any of those feelings, I want you to just imagine that you could take your hands through your body and you could see your hands just gathering up all the old experiences of giving your power to somebody outside of you to give you permission to have what you want and intend to benefit humanity. Just imagine that this is not about you, this is about your gift to humanity, and you're removing anything where somebody was sitting above you as a judge to say that your projects were worthy or you were worthy. And imagine you're just running your hands and any unworthiness is just being gathered up in your hands and you're sending it down into the earth. It's gone. Those days, that's why we're talking about the could be post-scarcity world. Those days are now gone through this community. Instead, I want you to run an image and just have this image on a loop. Run an image of you going in with a very strong presentation filled with Christ, and have this running on an infinity loop, like it keeps repeating and repeating and repeating, not just a one-time thing. It's getting stronger. It's just tell this image of you walking in, I am here to help to heal this world. I'm here to bring the kingdom of God. I want you to see what you look like when you're doing that. And you're going in, you're seeing the gold in the people that are there, and you're running this amazing energy of pure here to bring the kingdom of God energy. There's nothing other than that energy running through you. And the people at the Redemption Center are going to see and feel not that old self, not that old paradigm, not that disempowered programming. They're going to see that you know how to bring projects, people, talent, and inspiration to what you're going to do. And that is what they're hoping to see. So that's your leadership piece for designing your best future. That's a practice. Just see yourself. If you have anything that makes you feel doubtful or, running those old programs, which is unfortunately 95% of you is unconscious. So a lot of people aren't even aware. I hear it when they're talking to me. They're not even aware they're running what they have experienced in the past. Run your hands through, give it to Mother Earth, and then see that image of Christ just running through you on an infinity loop, and you presenting with Christ's blessing, who you are, what you're here to do, and then you're going to present it. And if you're interested in either the world class, you've got the email for that. If you're interested in finding out how you can really strengthen who you are inside of you, the Christ in you, as a leader, we'd love to hear from you. And send an email to Designing Your Best Future. The cost is $5.99 for 4 sessions. And I'm going to call her Ms. S. I'm sorry I didn't read your testimonial tonight. I'll read it if we have a chance on Thursday. And I'm going to share with you a testimonial of a woman that said, I just can't even believe what I've gotten after 2 sessions. So it's 4 sessions, $5.99, and all you have to do is send an email to integratedminds@hushmail.com and put Designing Your Best Future and just put your telephone number in all cases. Almost Bruce didn't check in that time. That's amazing. And we will get back
for you to finish.
Okay.
Yep.
And thank you for that. And we'll get back to you as soon as possible. You guys are the future leaders of the healing of our world, with the people that you surround yourselves with. And you may need a little support to just kind of begin to develop that mental, emotional hardiness and preparedness so you feel comfortable and secure and enjoy while you put on that mantle, so to speak. So that's my segment tonight, Bruce. And thank you to all the people I've had the pure honor and pleasure to work with. You're just amazing, and we're all family, and greatest of all blessings to you all.
Thank you, Sue. Absolutely. So the email address for both is integratedminds@hushmail.com. And the last one was in the header or in the subject line, like Sue said, Designing Your Best Future. And Sue, did you change the other one from world-class presentation?
No. I meant
world-class formula, maybe?
Yeah. No,
world-class formula.
World-class presentation. Yeah, it's just called world-class presentation. Yep.
Okay. All righty. Good. All right. And I'll remind them of that later. That's good, Sue. Thank you very much for that. That's very, very important. And I'm glad everybody has that opportunity. That was a great testimonial. It really was. And it says a lot about you and what you bring, and the fact that they signed up for a 4-pack and then turned around and did it again.
And they're amazing.
They really were enjoying what they were getting.
Thank you, Bruce. Yeah. And I just want to give a shout out to the two of them. You're just exceptional, and you can tell the people. I just got somebody who wants the Designing Your Best Future. You can tell by the people who want to grow and learn and step into a totally new world. So
exactly.
To both Mr. N and K, much love. Okay.
There you go. All right. So thank you, Sue. Appreciate that. I know a lot of people will be trying to get in on your email. I'm glad they reset it and expanded it to where you can take quite a few emails, it looks like, and still get in touch. So be patient. The word is to be patient. Sue will get back to you if you send her the email. No tire kickers. These are people that get it, that want help on the presentation through the template or formula, and people that want to work with Sue on 4 one-hour sessions for designing their best future. Okay? So thanks a lot, Sue. Appreciate that very much. And we look forward to everybody doing the best that they can for the purpose for which they've been called. And speaking of that, the purpose for which Bob has been called at least the one that we know about, is about our health, about our well-being, about our nutrition, and how we can best supplement what we need so that we can stay healthy and fend off any type of attack of disease or anything that would come at us from a medical point of view. So, Bob, what is it that you'll bring? I hope you'll bring a few more testimonials tonight and maybe some research. Here we are in the 3rd of May, Bob. We've started the new month.
That's it. Yeah, and today here in St. Petersburg, Bruce, it's 5-3 day, and one of the most prominent banks in our area, including a bank that I use, it's called Fifth Third Bank.
Third? Yeah.
And it's a strange name, but it was a merger of the Fifth Street Bank and Third Bank, and so they're like, we'll call it Fifth Third. And so today, when I went to the bank, they were all celebrating Fifth Third Day, or 5-3 Day.
Yeah. Get it? Yeah.
So I just wanted to say about Sue's presentation tonight, Bruce. From listening to the testimonials over the years, we can tell that when Sue says that people can, come to her to learn about their presentation and, some of the digital aspects of it, what goes here, what's in the introduction, the body, and where did the pictures go. But at the same time, this is a engagement with Sue where you get the privilege of challenging yourself to say, what is the ideal and highest expression of myself in regard to my projects? And in that exercise, Sue's guidance helps people to feel and learn how to amplify their own God energy so that it comes through not only in the presentation, but as we actually begin to execute these projects and implement them, that energy of love and understanding and sharing and compassion actually comes through to the whole community that we're endeavoring to enhance. And I think that alone, independent of the aspect of the organization and the piece of paper with the presentation, is something that is it's a rare opportunity. Let's just put it that way.
Thank you, Bob. That's so generous.
And
thank you.
You're welcome. And so, Bruce, we had an interesting discussion today at the office, and it reminds me of Pastor Scott's testimonial. And one of the people that works at the office had taken a couple of days off because he had an old friend coming to visit, and his friend was going to stay for 3 or 4 days. And so today, being Tuesday, I stopped and talked to him and said, "Hey, how was everything with the visit with your old friend?" And he's like, "It was really good, but I was shocked at how much he'd aged." And I said, "Well, we were just talking a few days ago about how you have not aged since you started working here 6 years ago." I was like, "You've probably noticed, but gotten used to the fact that the people here at Boomers are in suspended animation or getting younger. And then you encounter someone you haven't seen in years, and they've been aging just at the normal rate. And it's shocking to see how fast people age when they're not taking advantage of the new science of holistic nutrition and anti-aging. And that's just the way it goes, Bruce, right? It's like people age faster as they get older. And you just go downhill fast because your body stops making certain things from your DNA code, including antioxidants that slow your rate of aging. And that's what my employee was experiencing. He's looking at somebody whose body's burning itself up faster and faster, looks like a typical 60-year-old, and but our employee is used to seeing people around Boomers and customers that come to visit that are in their 70s and 80s that look 20, 30 years younger. And it's become, what we say is the spectacular has become routine. And then when he sees his friend, it's like, oh my God. So I didn't suggest to him that he advise his friend he should begin using Boomer products. But now that I think of it, I might encourage him to do that tomorrow when I see him.
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting, Bob, because we're witnessing with this suspended animation for you and me, and Sue is obviously in this camp as well. We're witnessing the new normal, which is age suspension or age regression.
Yep, it's true. And so, Bruce, I do have a couple of testimonials that came in. This one came yesterday. This is a woman whose initials are SS, and she says, I feel like I'm almost 31 again. I have more energy. Yay! After having 3 strokes since December of 2019, I am now more energetic thanks to the Boomer Boost and Gladiator barley. My brain fog has cleared up. My legs feel stronger. Thank you very much for creating these products. God bless you. And this is something that we see a lot, Bruce, especially for people that have had strokes. And it's unfortunate that people that have had strokes typically struggle for the rest of their life with the debilitating aspects of the stroke, right?
Yeah.
But what we find is when people can reduce their inflammation, and this is what the research shows, is that it's the inflammation in the brain following strokes that creates this lingering problem, set of problems, right? So if you can reduce that inflammation, which we can, and then provide the building blocks for regeneration, amino acids and metabolic enzymes and minerals, then people experience, what this woman experienced. And we've helped many, many, many people recover from strokes. Now, here's another one. This is from a man whose initials are BB. He said, 5 years ago, my LDL cholesterol numbers were through the roof, about 500 to be exact. I had a heart attack. I started taking Boomer Boost 5 years ago, as well as some of the other great products over time. I was just at my cardiologist last week. He said my LDL is now 43, not 430, but 43. He tried to tell me that the prescriptions he had me on are really good. I told him that wasn't it. It's the Boomer product.
I love it.
I have never heard of anyone going from 500 to 43 because of meds. I take my Boomer products every day. My C-reactive protein is below 2. Boomer Boost is absolutely the best. Nothing works like these Boomer products.
That's great.
So
That
now
is
you have
terrific.
with heart problems and a stroke issues. Now this, Bruce, is a testimonial from an 88-year-old man, and it's just amazing. And he starts out saying, "Thanks for the opportunity to tell you more. Number one, I sold eggs during World War II at the age of 8, and I made $4,000 by the age of 12.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Yeah. My mentor told me to buy Ryan aircraft in 1950 Korea at $9 a share. By the time I graduated from USC in 55, that $9 stock was 50. I ventured to Pensacola Navy flight training. I landed on a carrier 500 times, many times at night between 1955 and 1958 as a night fighter pilot. Next, I outfitted a 5-ton Jeep for a 3-year, 83-country venture, including to Russia in 1960, to help the communists better understand the beauty of the American free enterprise system, to which I hold your company in high esteem. During that 110,000-mile trek, I set 2 world records. First, overland to Panama by road, the only vehicle ever to visit the highest road on Earth, 16,000 feet. The lowest road, the most northern road on Earth, and the most southern trek was from 1959 to 1962. This guy's amazing. Next, I entered the securities industry on the communist most sacred holiday, May Day 1964, 58 years ago. I did well for our clients. I co-managed the only public mutual fund ever to advance 100% 2 years in a row. My partner and I were America's best performing investment advisors, according to CDA of Colorado Springs, Maryland. I've been doing investment banking deals for the last 25 years. So now he says, now here's my message for boomers with thanks. 7 years ago, my doctors at the City of Hope told me I had lymphoma. My red blood cell count went down to 6, where 12 is normal. My platelets went down to 16, with 140 being normal. I weighed 322 pounds at 6 feet tall. I had 16 blood transfusions over a 4-year period. I was not in good health. I started taking Boomer Boost 18 months ago. My beautiful wife and I moved from Pasadena, California to Las Vegas. We will be opening 3 new businesses in the next 18 months. I've lost 100 pounds. My blood count is now normal. I don't think I have lymphoma anymore. And for the past 2 years, I have become a rabid fan of boomers. I will be 89 on May 24th, and I'm just getting started.
That's great.
They refer to him as Global Noble.
Ha! Global Mobile. That's right. He sure has been mobile.
But this with an N, like noble.
Noble. Global Noble. Yes. Yes. Global Noble has been quite mobile as well. Wow.
Upwardly mobile. Anyway, Bruce, that was the testimonials. I just want to say a couple quick things. You know, people have started getting their new Boomer Boost, right? And just to say, as you receive your new Boomer Boost, remember there's now spirulina in the Boomer Boost, which has all the benefits that we talked about last Thursday, right? And including how it has this really high nutrient level, and it also helps with inflammation, it helps with cholesterol, it helps with blood pressure and blood sugar and muscular strength and your ability to work out, right? It's an elemental nutrition, right? And it's from blue-green algae. And the other thing, and so it changed the color of the product. So as soon as you open up your jar, you're going to notice the color is a little bit different. It's darker. The other thing is that we had to change the profile of the flavoring because it's different for spirulina than it is for other things that were in there that we took out. And so you're going to notice the taste is different. Most of the people that have tasted it so far say that it tastes even better, right? But as we know, taste is a very specific thing for people, and some people are going to say that it doesn't taste as good, right? And that's okay. It doesn't taste bad. There's no way someone's going to say it tastes bad, but it doesn't taste the same, right? It tastes a little bit more lemony. And for me personally, that's a good thing. We did lots and lots of taste testings before we released it until we got it. So we were like, okay, almost everybody's going to like this, right? But if for some reason your taste buds are having trouble with it, then just experiment with different things to mix it in instead of just water, okay? You know, if you have special milks that you like to drink, you know, you can put it into that. You can actually, one of the things that we found makes it taste good is if you add a little bit of pineapple or pineapple juice. Not a lot, because pineapple can be real high in sugar. So just put a little bit.
Yes.
And it's just that little bit of pineapple makes it go, wow, this tastes really great. We're even considering the next time we make it to add a little pineapple flavoring because people are and so that's basically it, Bruce. Right now, we're feeling very fortunate during this time of supply chain problems and transportation problems and staff shortages that we were able to continue on with all of our products, including our products that come from Canada that got held up from the issues with trucking and supply side and issues at the bottling plant. And we were able to get our barley product, our lignans, our probiotics, and other things that where we didn't have any downtime in terms of availability of supply. And the same with Boomer Boost. I think we had maybe 3 days where when we ran out of the supply we had before the new supply came, and we'd been working on that new supply for over 6 months. And when it arrived, it was within 3 days of running out of the other supply. So we got really, we were really successful and a little bit lucky that the supply side issues weren't worse.
Yeah,
and
thank
so
God.
It's available. People want your new Boomer Boost and new barley. The barley is way stronger than it used to be. And so people may want to just pay attention to that. The Boomer Boost gives you more energy. The barley is going to make you stronger. It has more minerals in it. And the minerals make the proteins work better, Bruce. Proteins fold and unfold and are very active active and productive and energy producing when they have adequate minerals. And the new barley has a lot more minerals. And so this is what's going on. Wanted to pass that on to people for tonight and let you know that it's 10:15.
All right, Bob, and let's let the people also know how to get on the website so that they can put an order together. All they do is go to bigcalluniverse.com, and when they land on our homepage, they'll see the banner that says Boomers at the top. They click on it. It's a direct link to your website, and they can see all of the products, how they're laid out, learn about the total health system, and they can also put an order together. They can go to the on sale page and see certain products in combination that are on sale, and they can go and add whatever they want to their cart and then take it to the checkout, and then boom, there they are. They're all set. And that's what most people, 98% of the people, do. There's a small percentage that calls, and that's good too. And the 800 number is on the website, and the number I always use is the one I've got in the phone, which is, boy, Bob, did I remember it? But it's really an important thing to do to make sure that you're getting all of the health that you need, all of the supplementation that you need for your diet, everything. And the testimonials tonight were terrific. Absolutely. I think they're really making a difference in people's lives. That's the cool thing. These people are de-aging. They're in suspended animation in a way. And, you know, when you take these products, it stops the burning up of your body internally. That's the cool thing. So that even if you're in your 70s or 80s, it can radically slow down the fact that your body is burning up internally. And that's really the name of the game. So I highly recommend that everybody get started if you haven't already started. And if you started before and you need to resume, go ahead and resume. Take advantage of these great products. And thank you, Bob. I really appreciate that. It's really everything and more than we've ever thought we'd get from a nutrition company, and especially the staff that is very caring to listeners of the Big Call. They just are wonderful, and we're kind of held in special high regard with Boomers because of Bob's relationship on the Big Call as a host on the Big Call. And it's just working out really well for our listeners. And the fact that they're all so attentive. And when you do call in, you can speak to somebody in the staff that is really, really helpful and going to steer you in the right direction. So thank you again, Bob. I appreciate that so much.
You're welcome, Bruce. And, you know, the 800 number, I'll just give them that. It's 800-861-4609.
4609. 861-4609. That's 1-800. Yeah, you don't have to put the 1 in. 800-861-4609. There you go. Thank you, Bob. That's terrific.
Right.
And that gets to everybody. That's why it's a better number than the other number we've been putting out for so long. Thank you, Bob. Excellent. All right, guys, let's get this party going. I know many of you are. Sue and I were talking about this prior to the call, and she said, you know, it's like somebody in leadership like Sue or me needs to say, where is it? We're waiting for this thing for so long. Where is it? Because we really thought by the intel that I had last Thursday that we would see 800 numbers or 800 number this afternoon, because that's the intel that I had all the way up through Saturday. And there was, as I predicted, another conference call with the redemption centers that went 3 hours and 22 minutes. And you think, what in the world are they talking about for that long? Well, it's hard to say. All I know is for 42 minutes of that call, They discussed the med beds and the rolling out of the med beds, which is interesting because they know, many of us know about that, have looked into that, and we may end up living 300, 500 plus years. Okay? And so the reason that that is important is that's what went into their decision, as I intimated on Thursday. That's what went into their decision to let ZIM holders that have projects get access to 10% of their quantum account instead of 1%. Okay, so the having that 10% and then earning interest on that 10%, okay, is a vast difference from just getting access to 1%. So that is why it's important. If you're a ZIM holder and you don't have projects, then you better get working on that, because not only will you get a higher rate on the ZIM, but you'll also get more access to those funds from your quantum account. So let's go back and recap a little bit and try to just revisit the example that we did on Thursday night, so make sure everybody gets it, because there were some people that weren't quite sure what 10% was referring to. So let's go back and talk about that. Now, as I said, this is applying to ZIM holders, and the fact that the denominations, as you guys know, are very large, and that means each note, in terms of the number of zeros on the note, they're very large. They are bearer bonds, and as such, they are payable upon demand. And when we go in there, that's what we're doing. We're redeeming those bearer bonds at the redemption center. That's why we've called them redemption centers, okay, from get-go. Now, here's how it's going to work. You go in there with your ZIM, regardless of the denominations. You might have 50 million, 50 billion. You might have 10 trillions. You might have 50 trillions. You could have 100 T notes, 100 trillion. Whatever you've got, okay, it's all payable at the same rate. There's no, back in the old days, we used to think, well, if you got this amount, they would pay this amount on that note and pay that amount on that note. Not true. Not ever true. I don't know who got suckered into that deal. Nope. All denominations pay the same amount per ZIM dollar, and it is a dollar. Zimbabwe dollar. Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe. So, here's the deal. In our example, as you remember, class, we started with a total of 100 trillion ZIM dollar, and that equivalent to the USN would be put into our quantum account. That's short for the quantum financial system account. A quantum account is an account that's a digital account that is not in any bank. This is in its own environment, its own quantum financial system. But when we access that quantum account, we can move funds with the help of the bank, initially at least, in this case Wells Fargo, to put, in the case that those of us that have projects can move up to 10% of what we have in the quantum account into our primary account with Wells Fargo. Now, that primary account will earn interest, and depending on which bank you're in, it could be as low as 6.5% all the way up to 8.25% per year. Annual percentage yearly. APY is the term that you want to know. APY. Annual, meaning yearly. Percentage, yearly. Annual percentage, yearly. All right. Seems redundant, doesn't it? Okay. But here's the thing. That 10%, if you're not a percentage person, think of it as 1/10 of your total money. Now let's make a distinction. That 1/10 that you've moved into your primary account is the amount that's earning the interest, not the quantum account. Quantum account doesn't earn anything. It's just sitting there. Okay? So we're only earning interest on 10% or 1/10 of the amount that we've moved from quantum to the primary account. All right? Now, everybody's got that. Now, the other point that I want to make is, remember I used to use the term spillover account. We're going to use the term secondary account now. We know the primary account is where our 10% of our ZIM holdings went into, right? And it is with Wells. And then, what about the other currencies? You got Dong, you got Dinar, you might have Rupiah, you might have Afghani, you might have Rial. You know, these other currencies, and of course Dinar. Did I forget Dinar? You know, all those currencies have an immediate value to you. When you exchange, you're exchanging into United States new dollars, USN. Okay? When you exchange that amount, let's say, and I think in my example on Thursday I said we had enough currency maybe to come up with 1 billion USN dollars, and that amount would be essentially all of that 1 billion would be available from day one or day two, maybe. Day one or day two, we can get access to that money. The point is, and I've talked with my sources about this, I very much believe, even though they don't want to do our banking at the redemption center, I believe they can set up our secondary account at the time they're doing our primary account. So what I'm saying is I want my currency proceeds that come out to whatever the number comes out to in USN to go into that secondary account. So I can operate right out of that smaller secondary account. Now, what about the interest that is earned? Interest, in theory here, because we won't know this till we prove it out when we get there, but I believe the same rate of interest will pay out on our primary account as, in my example, my secondary account. Notice they're both with Wells. Now, if I wanted to set up a secondary account or a tertiary, meaning third, tertiary account with another bank, I could certainly do that and send funds or wire, for an old banking term, wire funds to that tertiary account at the other bank. I can do that. Okay, no big deal. It's considered a ledger-to-ledger transfer in the parlance of the quantum financial system, ledger-to-ledger transfer. And you know, it doesn't take very long to transfer anymore. Should take actually less than 30 seconds to transfer funds anywhere in the world. So transferring from one bank to another shouldn't take but just 30 seconds. Let's call it under a minute anyway. Okay? So that's a very new positive. Think of it as a little bit of delineation between your currencies that you've exchanged and your bearer bonds, if they're ZIM, that you have redeemed. And those, and hopefully I'm getting to some new people who might not have been in this for a week or two or a few months, and you're getting used to the terminology, to the lexicon of these exchanges. All right, so what are we saying? We're saying know that when you go in. And why is it important to get with Sue on these project presentations? Because if you're somebody who doesn't have a project but you've got ZIM, that's when they're going to put you on a structured payout. You see, that's when they're going to restrict the amount that you get down to 1%, not the 10% that those of us who have projects will get. And the interest rate itself is negotiable. Now, don't confuse interest rate that you earn on the funds in your primary and secondary accounts. Don't confuse that with the rate of exchange that your currencies get, or the rate that you get on your bearer bonds, the ZIM. Don't confuse those two. The same term rate is used, but it's a completely different example, right? Like Wells should pay us up to 8.25% per year if you negotiate that, at this time. Okay? So, and that's a lot more than we've seen in many, many, many years. But that's something that's between you and the bank to negotiate. And you do that at the Redemption Center. Now, what I still want to do, as I mentioned, is take that interest that's an annual number, and I want to divide it and have it paid to my account quarterly. In other words, it's accrued and paid to my account every 3 months. That way I know how much I've got to work with. I know what I need to do to get rid of it. And when I say get rid of it, I mean spend it wisely, invest it wisely in people's lives, get these projects cranking, and use that money to help level the playing field for people's lives, not only in the U.S., but in the other projects as we get to them, as we get to the Bahamas, as we get to the Dominican Republic and Haiti. Oh, man, could we make a difference in their lives with food production, with water, with proper sewage treatment, with education, everything that they need, we can do it. We're not that far away. And yet here's Haiti in our hemisphere, the poorest nation in our hemisphere. And a lot of it's their political systems have been corrupt. They're not the only ones, and we're not the only ones. They've been so corrupt. And we will offer to help them in a very big way that will radically change their lives if they let us and if they're welcoming to us. We're not going to do things where we're not wanted. We're not going to do things, we're not going to force our way in on anybody. That's not the plan. We're going to go in, explain what it is we can do, see if we're welcome, and boom. If we are, we're off and running. We're going to do some cool things. Okay? A lot of cool things. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And if you're somebody that doesn't have projects, you're going to be on the outside looking in. Because all of us, and we're looking at about 2 million people that are involved in these currencies in the United States and Canada. Let's throw Canada in, our neighbors to the north. Oh, Canada. Love Canada. Okay? They're good neighbors. And the combination, working with all of us, like we talked about earlier, is going to be tremendous. We're going to do some good things. All right. I think I've got the scenario laid out for you guys that might be new or didn't catch Thursday's call to get caught up to speed with where we are now on it. Now, I said it didn't happen for us today, and here we are on the call. The latest information we have this afternoon and this evening is pointing toward us still going this week. And I'm hearing 4th, 5th, or 6th. That would be what? Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday of this week. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for notifications to come out. And obviously, if the notification comes out one day, we might set appointments that day and start exchanges the next. That's the typical thing. And a lot of times we're hearing notifications are coming out after lunch or after 1 p.m. set appointments and start the following day. That could very well happen this week. So, this thing changes. It changes a lot. It is a moving target. We're trying to fill in the pieces. We've had some positive things come out recently, especially today. We heard that we should see some change in our administration around the 13th, and we could have a lot of things happening with Nasara is supposed to kick in between today and the 8th into the so-called third phase of Nasara. And I went into that in some detail last Thursday. So we're looking for that to manifest in May to some extent. But it should happen so that way when we start, the rest of the country is getting some funds, especially the older portion of the country. Now, one thing I forgot to mention on the last 2 or 3 calls, I have said that we would no longer see universal basic income. I've been corrected on that for retirees. People that are 65 and older, let's say they're no longer working. I don't know what age it's going to kick in for, but let's say you're retired and you're not working. We understand there's supposed to be some universal basic income for you. If you're still working, it may not apply to you. But we'll see what the parameters are, what the rules are on that. Don't have that defined yet. But we're all concerned that nobody would want to work if they're on universal basic income, and that's true. They wouldn't. Hopefully, the young people and middle-aged people will still want to work for a living, and they're going to be earning a really good wage. If we're working with them, they're going to be in really good shape. They're going to be earning really good money, and they'll do plenty of good things with their lives. I'm excited because I can see this plan coming together now, and I know the bondholders, even the bondholders in Tier 3 have been put in, I call them levels, 10 levels, 1 through 10, level 1 through 10 within Tier 3 bondholders. So that means the top of the heap and then all the way down to the smallest bondholder in terms of the amount of bonds that they had and the value of the bonds. But what's cool is, even today and starting Saturday, last Saturday, some of the bondholders did receive their emails with their access codes that they could input on their computers, and they would theoretically see their accounts as hydrated and have access to those funds. But guess what? When several of these people put their codes in, nothing happened. So that tells me the system is not started yet. It's not activated for that yet. And it may not activate until we get notified. That's still my contention, is that nobody really gets paid until we get notified and set our appointments. And maybe until our first day of appointments, because they don't want an unfair advantage in this shotgun start. So we'll see how that pans out. But I'm very encouraged that some of the bondholders did receive their emails already. Now, even though the codes didn't work, the theory is they'd try it in 12 hours to see if it went and continue to do that, unless they get another email with something different. But that's encouraging. Tier 1 and Tier 2 have already been paid out and had access to those funds. So that's good. And our national debt has been paid off by Tier 2, which are whales, what we call super whales. And what's interesting is even the whales, with what their agreement was, because of the amount of currency and bonds that they had, they actually only get 15% of their total. 85% of what they had is been used to pay off the national debt and also to go into pay for NESARA, which is a pretty cool deal. So we should have plenty of money available for NESARA. Now realize this, your projects are not supposed to contain anything that is related to infrastructure in the United States, because that's what NESARA will pay for. In other words, President Trump was clear to tell us that with Rebuild America, that we're not to use it for building roads, bridges, underground communications, electricity, natural gas, anything that we're thinking of doing. You know, unless it's a real privatized situation, if it's something that would normally be handled by local or state or federal government, we're supposed to stay away from that. That's the responsibility of our government to do that. So let's see how that comes out. In the meantime, Rebuild America is going to work with people all over the country, rebuilding their communities, rehabbing homes, building new, creating, let's call it walkable communities, as well, with green spaces, with food domes for quality food production, non-GMO and non-pesticide foods. There's quite a bit that we're doing. If you're interested in, and I had somebody to say that, well, we're interested in doing Rebuild America, but we're not going to do, we want to do it with you. In other words, we want to follow your example of what you're intending for Rebuild America. What you've got to do is you've got to sell that into them, let them know that you're looking at it from a much larger perspective and working as an affiliate. That's the term I'm going to use when I discuss 5,000 possible people that will work with me with Rebuild America. So it's an us project, but you guys that are out there that have already picked out, like Pastor Scott's already picked out 5 towns or cities towns that he's interested in working with Rebuild America. And many others, I'm sure, you guys have put your eyes on some communities or some towns or parts of a city or whatever. What you've got to do is communicate that in writing to the Redemption Center staff and say that you plan to affiliate with the Big Call. I don't mind if you say it that way. We want to affiliate with the Big Call on Rebuild America. And that way, when we create the how-to step, follow these steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, as an example, as a formula, what you'll do is you'll see that when we get our website up for that, you'll see that and you'll say, I see what they want us to do. I've explained it in rough terms, but you'll see it laid out properly, and you'll be able to say, okay, I got it. I'm going to work on this community, that community, and we'll have it interactive where you guys can let us know the communities that you want to work in, or the towns that you want to rebuild, or the city and the portion of the city that you want to rebuild. And we'll take all that information and combine it, and then we may have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people that want to still work in Albuquerque, and then we might have, what I'm saying as an example, and then we might have people that want to work in Tucson. You know what I mean? We'll find the groups of people that want to work together in those areas, and we'll figure out a way to coordinate that and collaborate together to make the projects go even better. And of course, we'll see how this whole thing comes together. It's going to be fun. It'll be a challenge. But I really think if we look at it that way, like the 5,000 people I wanted, why did I say 5,000? 50 states, 100 cities, towns, or communities in each state. Now, that was an average. only an average, to get a number. 50 states times 100 is 5,000. That gave us the number 5,000 people that would affiliate with us on the big call. Okay? So that's still the plan. Now, if you're somebody that has intentions of helping us in Haiti, we'll ask you about that. And it'll be like an online questionnaire that you'll just fill out and submit. And we'll give you different examples and different ideas that you can do. If you want to help Dominican Republic, cool. You speak Spanish, cool. You speak French like I do, Haiti, cool. I had a dream years and years ago that we would be helping Haiti. It was a cool spiritual dream where we had bulldozers working and stuff was being built and stadiums erected and all of that cool stuff for Haiti. Back, I'm thinking this was 12, 15 years ago. I had that dream. So there's a lot we're going to do, you guys. And I don't want to limit you. I know that you guys have ideas. Do I need help with equine therapy? Yep. Or horses for our Veterans Retreat Network sites? Yeah. Uh-huh. Do I need help with canine therapy for our families at the Veterans Retreat Network sites and maybe even at the pastoral retreat sites? Yeah, sure. I mean, think that way. Think of what your talent, or if you're a horse person, a horsewoman, or a cowboy, we're going to need some help with that. And that's something that's very specialized. And I'd love to work with our people on that if we can. That would be awesome. So we're going to have some fun with this. And Pastor Scott also said he's interested in working with us on the Pastoral Retreat Network. I think that's cool, too. I think that's cool. He'll have some good ideas, I'm sure. So I'll be working with him on that as well. And I just want to lay this out, everybody. This is for people that might not have their projects completely written down for a presentation. What Sue brought tonight is very important. And the fact that your rate on your Zim and the fact that your access to the amount of funds that you're able to move from your quantum account to your primary account is dependent on the fact that you have projects. Makes it seem pretty imminent that you should be getting your projects running. If you're a Zim holder, you pretty much need to do something to help humanity. It's too much money for yourself and your family, and it's much better if you can take care of yourself, your family, and many, many other people through your project. So how do you do it? You just get your project ideas in your mind, but you send an email to Sue, and the email is Integrated Minds, and integrated is INTEGRATED, Minds, MINDS, Integrated Minds at hushmail.com. And when I say at, it's the at symbol, right? Integrated Minds at hushmail.com. And what you would put is world-class presentation and actually put world-class presentation $165 because it's $165 to get the formula, to get the templates so that you can see how these projects have been languaged, how they've been worded, the keywords, the stuff that's really important from the Redemption Center point of view, what they're going to look for. It's all in that. And you've got several examples of those, plus other information that Sue will send out to you. But you need to go ahead and send her that email first. She'll send you back a piece, and then you respond, and you pay for it, and then she sends you the whole thing that you need to build that presentation. You'll see how it's done. You'll see how to do it with your ideas. Okay, so consider that. Also, Sue is still taking people that want to do personal coaching and leadership training And it's really anything that you need help on, she can do it. Anything that you need help. A 4 one-hour session package. 4 one-hour sessions. $599. And under the subject line on this email, you would put designing your best future. Designing your best future. And that's $599. And you also send Sue the email integratedminds@hushmail.com. Okay? And she's been super busy answering these emails and getting this information out. But she's doing a good job, and she's making headway, and I think we'll have a whole new wave coming from tonight. So go ahead and get those out now. Get those out, and you'll be in better shape for it. Because you want to go into the Redemption Center with a presentation that you're proud of, that you're comfortable with, and that you're confident will give you the best opportunity to make the greatest return on this investment, if you will. And I know it's not really an investment. It's currency that you guys have bought to do exactly what we're talking about. So I'm excited about where we are. Yes, I was disappointed it didn't happen today. I'm being told to look really hard at Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. And I think that we should have some NASARA information kicking in between now and the 8th. Don't forget, today's the 3rd. What is the 5th? Cinco de Mayo. That's right. Don't forget to celebrate Cinco de Mayo in your local Mexican restaurant. Me, I'm going to grab some fajitas. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. And that is on, let's see, what day? That's going to be on Thursday, isn't it? Oh, that's good. Fajitas Thursday for me. All right, so I'm excited about that. And I'm really excited about getting this party started. So let's see if there's anything else I can remember that's really important for us tonight. I think I've covered what I wanted to cover. Understand that the Dinesh D'Souza movie, 2000 Mules, they've got a trailer up on YouTube and an interview on YouTube, not the full movie. However, the theaters around here are sold out. I think it's going to go for 14 days in some markets. If you can go see it, go. I think it's going to be worth it. It's a great movie. It's really a documentary. And I think it's going to be put out on a few, hopefully it's going to come out on YouTube as a full movie, because that way I can watch it on the large screen Sony. And that way I can catch it that way. So we'll see. I think it's starting either Thursday or Friday. It should come out on a platform of some kind. So if we're not started by Thursday, we will see you on Thursday night's call. If we do get numbers before then, like tomorrow or Thursday before the call, there will not be a call Thursday night. This is it. Because once we get the numbers, initially we're done and we can no longer communicate. We're going to be under NDAs, and then we can get the word out to you guys by email. So what am I saying? I'm saying bigcalluniverse.com is the site that we're using to send out emails to our listeners. And we'll send you out an email if you're registered on that site, which will give you the toll-free number to call if you can't find it anywhere else, or if you don't, for some reason, get the email from Wells Fargo that we're expecting to go out. Some people, they don't have our emails. They don't have it. So we may not get it by Wells Fargo. You might have to rely on the Big Call to send it out. So bigcalluniverse.com is the address. bigcalluniverse.com. Register, and that's how we're going to get in touch with you guys after this goes. Take care of your dads. buy a new car, whatever you want to do, go on vacation, don't sweat it. We'll get in touch with you by email and let you know when we're ready to take the people for Rebuild America and the VRN and so on, okay? We'll let you know by email. So if we don't have your email, we're going to lose contact with you, okay? And any future calls we do would be like a podcast that would be sent to you by email with a link that you click on the link and then you're in. You get the call. So that's what we're going to do with it. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys tonight. So let's go ahead, get in touch with Sue. Tonight, better than tomorrow, go ahead and send her the email, integratedminds@hushmail.com. Remember, the template is $165, and the 4 1-hour session coaching is $5.99 for all 4 hours. Keep that in mind. All right? Now, let's pray the call out, and let's see what happens between now and Thursday, okay? Lord God, we thank you so much that you have given us a platform to share this information with a lot of listeners around the globe. And thank you for everybody that's transcribing the call, that's also translating the call into other languages around the globe, like in Russian and in Japanese and in Mandarin and in Korean and wherever else the languages, all 18 languages, are available to go out. Thank you for setting that out for us. We appreciate you doing that, and we thank you for anyone who is truly transcribing the call. Thank you for your accuracy, and I want to thank everybody for listening for 11 years now, all around wherever you're listening from, whether you're listening live or whether you're listening on the replay link or replay number. Okay? So thanks, everybody, for listening. Thank you, Sue, for doing a marvelous job again tonight. For Bob, for doing a super job again, bringing all this out. And for everybody behind the scenes that's supporting the big call, like GCK, like Pastor Scott, like Jeannie, and others that are intel gatherers. Thank you for your help in supporting us, and we love you, and we look forward to this going and the return of some type of semblance of order to this country. In Jesus' name.